Welcome to Excel Magic Trick number 769. Hey, if you want to download this workbook, Excel Magic Trick 761 to 770, click on the link below the video. Hey, we got a fun one here. We have some criteria, and we want to add all the ones that are not this product. Then we want to conditionally format the whole row anytime we find a record that's not this product. All right, first we're going to start off with the adding. We're going to use the SUMIF function. Now, normally SUMIF, we do something like this. I want to highlight this whole column, and I want to add all the Carlotas. So for the range, this has the criteria. I'm going to Control-Shift-Down arrow, F4 just to jump it back up into the cell, comma, and then the criteria, you just say, hey, find all the Carlotas, right? It goes down here, true, then it gets this one. It finds all the Carlotas and gets the corresponding sales number. So comma, the sum range, Control-Shift-Down arrow. And so that would be for Carlota. But what would happen? Well, let's just enter this, right? Not only that, but in edit mode, let me highlight this and hit F9 to evaluate it. You can see SUMIF gives you one number, Control-Z. What if we just highlighted multiple items? If I hit Enter, it gives me the first number. But what if I, instead of entering it, what if I evaluate it with F9? Boom, it'll give you 3 answers. Now, this is an array in a formula, so we're going to have to put it in SUMPRODUCT to add these. But wait a second, these are all the values of the criteria, not criteria. We want to ultimately add all the ones that are not these. But we'll start with adding the ones that are these criteria here. Control-Z. I'm just going to put this in SUMPRODUCT. So right now, all I did was put it in there. SUMPRODUCT can handle arrays. It can and it adds. So it's doubly perfect for this situation. OK, that's all the ones that are not. So what do? We just take the sum of all the ones that are. These are the ones we're interested in. So all I'm going to do is add them all up and then subtract all the ones we're not interested in. So that's adding. What about conditional formatting? Well, there's a number of ways we can do this, but probably the fastest way is to use the match function. Now, what does the match function do? It's a lookup function, but it tells you the ordinal position of something. So watch this, the lookup value. Well, ultimately, I'm going to have to create a true-false formula and put it up into the conditional formatting dialog box. But for each row, we need to ask, is that not one of these? So I'm going to do a lookup. I'm going to say, hey, that. Now, when we ultimately put it up into our dialog box, this whole row here needs to look at that sunset. And when we go down, this whole row needs to look at that bellin. All right, so I'm going to lock this going to the side. So the column reference is locked, but not the row. Comma, and then guess what? I'm going to look it up here and lock that in all directions. Comma, the match type is exact or 0. Now, remember, match looks an item up and tells you the relative position in a list. So this can only return 1, 2, or 3. This is a 2 because sunset is the second item. But watch this when we copy this over. It's as if that formula is going to be copied into a dialog box, but it's as if it's going to be copied down and over. So this is simulating this record right here. There's a 2. What if I copy this down? Right? So you could see here, match is properly looking at bellin. Here, match is properly looking at bellin. So for that whole row, the NA. That's because it's not in this list. And guess what? The NA is what we want. Remember, we're trying to conditionally format the row that's not one of these. So I'm simply going to highlight this. And there's a function that asks the question, is this thing an NA? It's called isNA. That value just is our match. I'm going to enter it, copy it down and over. And now we can see, ding, 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 we have our trues. Because conditional formatting, whether you use formulas, logical formulas, or built-in features, it's all about true, the formatting is applied. False, the formatting is not applied. So I'm going to copy this formula from the uppermost corner. I do not want to copy from down here. I want to copy it from the uppermost corner because that's the first cell in our range of cells that are going to have the conditional formatting applied. So I'm going to copy, highlight this table, Control-Shift-Down arrow. Very important that that active cell is exactly the same position as our top formula there. So now I just go to conditional formatting, new rules, or Alt-OD, new rule, use formula, click right here, and Control-V. And then I'm going to apply some formatting, whatever it might be. All right, and so not. Bellin is not. VRang is not. What if I typed Bellin here? All right, so now the Bellins are not being formatted, only the ones that are not these, and we have a new total. All right, we'll see you next trick.